Alright, Shalom, giving all praises, honor and glory unto Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakadash, double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone of all well, and Shalom to all of you Arky and pushing this word around the globe with faith and truth and sincerity, and a sincere Shalom to all you Arkwath who be listening and supporting the ministry also. As always, I like to start by saying we are the real Hebrew Israelites, the real Israelites, these so-called Negroes, Latinos, Hispanics, Native Americans, West Indians, and West Africans, predominantly. However, you are going to find Israelites that do look like the other nations, but if their seed line by their forefathers goes back to the man in the Bible that was named Israel, then you too are an Israelite, because Numbers chapter 1 and verse 18 states that your nationality is determined by the lineage of your forefathers. So, a little bit breaking news here. I just saw Apostle Aramla do a video on this about half an hour ago, and I've just jumped on to do a video now that I've got a little bit of time. So this is from BBC News, published on 19th of November. It says Kamala Harris, first woman to get US presidential powers, in brackets briefly, right? So what you're going to have is just like when that Meghan Markle woman, or Meghan Markle, however you pronounce her name, just when she married Prince Harry, and she got up into the royal family, you had a lot of Israelite women celebrating that like it was a victory for them or some shit, right? When in fact it wasn't, because we are yet to stay in our captivity. But likewise, now that this woman Kamala Harris has been given presidential powers, a lot of so-called black women are going to be on the streets, on the streets, waving their American flags, clapping and shouting and jeering like this is a victory for them. But don't get it twisted. This woman isn't for you, man. None of these elected officials and governors are for you. These people are only set up to further prolong your captivity. You know, the people who you really should be giving praise, honor, and tribute and glory unto is Yahweh and Yahweh Shai. You know, we're not supposed to be voting and all this kind of shit, right? We're not supposed to be doing that. But let me just read this article, right? Kamala Harris, 57, will take on the duties of President of the United States for a few hours on Friday. As US Vice President, Kamala Harris will become the first woman to briefly be given presidential powers as Joe Biden undergoes his regular health check, right? President Biden will transfer power to Ms. Harris for the period in which she will be placed under anesthesia for a routine colonoscopy on Friday. The medical examination will be Mr. Biden's first as president and comes on the eve of his 79th birthday. Ms. Harris will temporarily take control of the US military and nuclear weapons. Oh, now isn't that something? I mean, America is through, man. So this woman's taking control temporarily of their military and nuclear weapons. Well, what does the Bible say about this? Let's get it. Bear with me a second. First Timothy 2 and 12. This reads, it says, let me start from, let me just go to the point. But I suffer not a woman to teach, nor to usurp authority over the man, but to be in silence. Say that again. But I suffer not a woman to teach, nor to usurp authority over the man, but to be in silence. For Adam was first formed, then Eve. And Adam was not deceived, but the woman being deceived was in the transgression. There you go. Notwithstanding, she should be saved in childbearing if they continue in faith and charity and holiness and with sobriety. So, the Most High, He set this whole thing up. This is all going to the will of Yahweh, according to the will of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. But what I'm saying is that He suffered not a woman to teach, nor to usurp authority over the man. So here you have Kamala Harris usurping authority over Joe Biden. Even if he did, pass the powers on to her, you got the woman over the man, which is backwards, But that's the sign of this empire, because Esau does everything contrary to the law, statutes, and commandments of the Bible. So let's just finish this article quickly, because it's not that long. Miss Harris, 57, is the first woman and the first black and South Asian American to be elected as vice president. I missed something there. The vice president will work from her office in the West Wing during this time, the White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki said in a statement. Ms. Psaki said the temporary transfer of powers in such circumstances was not unprecedented, and that it was part of the process set out in the United States Constitution, which is clean contrary to the Bible. As was the case when President George W. Bush had the same procedure in 2002 and 2007, her statement said. Mr. Biden, the oldest U.S. president to take office, had his last full medical examination on December 25, 2019. At the time, his doctor released a medical report describing him as healthily vigorous, and fit to successfully execute the duties of the presidency. Well, that's been shown to be completely untrue because Joe Biden's fallen apart. The president's last health check comes on the day after the U.S. House of Representatives approved his landmark $1.9 trillion Build Back Better Act. The sweeping social spending and climate package is considered a key pillar of Mr. Biden's agenda. So that's that article. I'm going to get a couple more presets before I close out. Sirach 42 verse 13 says, from garments come a moth. Sirach 42 and 13. For from garments come a moth, and from women wickedness. Read that again. For from garments come a moth, and from women wickedness. So don't expect that your ride in Babylon the Great to be any easier. She's going to turn up the ante, man. When she gets the power to, at least. Because I don't know how long this will last, but, reports are that Joe Biden's fucking falling apart on his feet. So who knows if Kamala will take control of the White House permanently. But I think they're doing this as a test run, if I'm honest, to see how people react to it, so on and so forth. Because at the end of the day, man, Esau's working hard to push his new world order, and Joe Biden's getting a lot of pushback because you've got people saying fuck Joe Biden, all this kind of stuff. And also you have the recent scandal regarding the release of his daughter's diary, Ashley Biden's diary, in which it implicated Joe Biden in having taken sexual showers with his daughter from when she was very young. So he was, molesting her from very young. So all this information is coming out. So it doesn't surprise me that they pull a move like that because maybe Biden's catching too much heat. You know what I'm saying? And they're trying to keep their shit together. At the end of the day, this is all going to fail because it's the will of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai for America to be destroyed. Close out Revelation 18. It says, and after these things I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lighted with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, and has become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird. For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues. For her sins have reached unto heaven, and God hath remembered her iniquities. Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her double according to her works. In the cup which she hath filled, fill to her double. How much she hath glorified herself and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give her. For she saith in her heart, I sit a queen, and am no widow, and I shall see no sorrow. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire, for strong is the Lord God that judgeth her. And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament her, when they shall see the smoke of her burning, standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, Alas, alas, that great city, Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. And all the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth her merchandise any more. So America's going to get destroyed in 1 hour when Yahushua returns. So, we are witnessing the end of this empire, the end of Esau's world, and the beginning of the kingdom of heaven, which is going to be ruled by the Israelites, the seed of Jacob. Because the blessing and the birthright went from Abraham, Isaac, and rested on Jacob and his descendants. So that's our inheritance. None of the other nations are going to have a part in that with us, but they're going to serve us as slaves and tributaries. So with that, giving all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Makakadash, double honors to the elders and apostles of great milestone that rule well, and shalom to all you argument and teaching this word around the globe with faith and truth and sincerity. And until the next lesson I do, Lord willing, I'll say shalom, wa abad babal, wa konesh shavala. Shalom for now.